a Ugandan diplomat.
The young woman produced a contract of employment and a certificate of sponsorship, which appeared to suggest that she was employed by the diplomat for the Ugandan embassy in London. So they wanted to understand what his role was.
Diplomats have special powers, allowing them to sponsor someone outside the UK.
He was entitled to an overseas domestic worker at his diplomatic residence. The suspect, as a student doing her PhD, she didn't have the same privilege.
Officers need to prove that she played a major part in drafting the fraudulent contract, bringing the victim into the UK as an unpaid slave.
It certainly appeared at that stage that at the very least he'd been involved in helping to get her into the country. Whether he knew any more or didn't, we couldn't prove one way or the other, but there were certainly questions he needed to answer.
The CPS hoped to charge the judge with conspiracy to bring the victim to the UK, trafficking and exploitation. However, the diplomat has immunity. Their only option is to analyse the data on the judge's phone, hoping to find evidence linking the judge, the diplomat, and the victim.
The suspect's mobile telephone was a very crucial piece of evidence in building the case against her.
The messages that really stick out for me were the first message between the judge and the victim, which were, "Hello, call me." And it was clear in my interpretation that this was the start of the judge recruiting the victim to the UK.
As they start to painstakingly review over 2,000 messages, they discover the judge and the diplomat had met at an event for students organised by the Ugandan High Commission.
It started to look like the suspect and the diplomat had been working together to create a fraudulent visa application and certificate of sponsorship. The suspect was saying, "Can I have a contract of employment to say she's coming to work for you?"
She was expected to be working there as a housekeeper and that she'd be earning, I believe it's either £14,000 or £16,000 a year with holidays, her own room, etc., etc.
He had sent an example of an employment contract and the suspect had completed it with the victim's details and sent it back. And so with all of that information in mind, it then started to put the role of the diplomat as a second suspect. There were certainly questions he needed to answer.
This is a serious escalation, but there is one major problem.